Hello YouTube and welcome back to Fern Valley Honeybees YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you guys my screen bottom board. I'm doing a series in these videos of all the stuff that I'm getting built or that I've built for my hives, and I'll put them on one by one. This is my screen bottom board. I built this. I kind of designed it myself. I'm not going to put it together for you and just bore you guys with me, building something. This one's a little bit more complicated to build. I did it with one by fours on either side, on the sides, on the back side. I took my router and I notched it. This is 1/2-inch plywood. I took my router and I notched a groove down either side of the board so that plywood sits right inside there. I glued it so it's solid. On the top, I used 3/4 by 3/4 pieces. Yeah, this one's a little bit more complicated. I got a piece right here going all the way around, and the screen, number 8 hardware cloth. Like I said in the previous videos, you can get this on eBay. I get almost everything on eBay. You'd be surprised how cheap things are. Free shipping, no tax. You gotta love it. So I framed it out with the 1x4s. I cut a notch. Let's just use this scrap piece as an example. I cut, I want to say, a 3/8 groove right down the center, about a 1/4 inch deep, just big enough for the 1/2-inch plywood to fit in. Glued it and put it together that way. On the front, I put the landing board. This is just a piece of 1x6. I nailed that down, so I built the sides with 1x4, framed it. Stapled the number 8 hardware cloth down, and then put these pieces of 3/4 by 3/4, and you can make this with scrap. You can take scrap pieces of your 1x4s and you can cut them on the table saw. You can cut it any thickness you want. So I framed it in the 1x4s. I put the 1x6 for the landing board. I put the screen bottom board down. Then I did another set of 3/4 by 3/4. And framed it here, nailed it. Now this is all glued. It's all glued and nailed. For the entrance, I just use one size entrance. And that's about, 3.5 inches by about 3/8. So far, I've had no issues with that whatsoever this summer. I just got one size. I don't use an entrance reducer. I just make it that big and it's working for me. Here again, this is what I do. I'm not saying this is what you should do, you shouldn't do. This is what works for me. And so far, it's working pretty good. On the front of the entrance here, where the screen was sticking up a little bit, I put some glue, just so there wouldn't be sharp edges. I really don't think the bees care, but, on the back side, there's an opening right here. There's an opening, obviously, for air to go through. And what I do on the back, this one's not finished, but I have a piece of wood cut. This is kind of a rough cut piece with openings. I put screen on this, and then I use just like a little eyelet, so you can pull it in and out. This will go on like this and sit there with screen on so nothing can get in there. But what I use, and this is just like sign material. Here again, I bought this on eBay. It was cheaper. I bought like a 5-pack. But like when you see political signs or yard signs, this vinyl material, that's what this is. I take and cut this to width to fit all the way in the back. And then I staple this to that, and then then you can just slide it in and out. You can catch all your debris from your bees. It will catch on this. Mites will land on this. You can clean the whole, anything that the bees drop, like a lot of loose pollen you'll find inside there. Any kind of debris will fall through the screen, catch on this board. You can take it out and clean it. I just cleaned mine the other day. You'd be surprised how much stuff falls through those screens from the bees. Well, there's old pollen. The bugs can't get through it. The screen, the hive beetles can't get through this, which is nice. I don't think. I was told they can't. I don't have any hive beetles so far, knock on wood. So, but I cut this to width, so it'll slide right in there. I staple this right to that, just like that, and then it just slides in and out real nice and easy. I don't have one cut already. This is my last one. I got to paint it still. And then in the winter time, I'll pull this out obviously because it's for ventilation, and I'll put a solid board in the back, and that'll slip. I don't think this one's cut the size. Oh yeah, it is. That'll slip right in, just like that. And that'll block that, and that'll let no air in there whatsoever. So that's what I'm going to do in the wintertime. Yeah, so you can make these things as fancy as you want. You can make them as unfancy as you want. I just kind of like to make it good and solid. And just make sure you glue everything. Nail it, glue it, and nail it. I really like this because, like I said, a lot of ventilation through the back of this thing. And with the screen, it prevents the hive beetles from getting through. All the debris from the bees falls through this screen, catches on this, and by pulling that out and shaking it off or taking your hive tool and scraping it off, you can clean it out pretty good instead of all of it just sitting on your plywood down there. And this thing is nice and solid too. And on my hive stands out there, I've got 2x4s screwed down on either side, so this doesn't move. Period. That's solid. You got yourself a nice solid. Base for your deeps. You want to paint it. Like I said, like I've said in the other videos, use a good outdoor paint. You don't have to use white. I use white. A lot of people use white. You can do different colors. I just use white. It's a good exterior paint. It'll preserve your wood and make your hives and everything last a lot longer. So I would make sure you paint it. And I think that's about it on the screen bottom board. This is my last one I got to paint. I thought I was going to do one more split. I'm not. So I think that's it for the screen bottom board. I can't think of anything else. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is so cheap to buy, but this takes a little bit longer to put together. This is a little bit more complicated. And like I said, you can go as fancy as you want with it, or you could just go, less fancy. I know that's not a word, but you can go less. I just like to make it solid. I want to build it once and kind of be done. It'll last a long time. So hopefully you found this information good. You got any questions on it, ask. Dimensions, I don't have dimensions written up for this thing. But obviously you want to make your top the perfect size for your frame, your boxes to sit on it. And my box fits perfect right here. This is the exact size of one of my 10 frame deeps. And you can stack them as high as you want, and this thing is solid. It's not moving. When it's sitting down with all that weight on it, it's solid as can be. This landing board works really good. You look outside, I got all my bees lined up like little soldiers, fanning when it's hot. And this is working really nice. So, hopefully you liked the video. Please subscribe, support the channel. There's a little bell next to the subscribe button. Click that bell. You'll get notifications the next time I make a video. So, until next time, YouTube, we'll talk to you later. Bye.